this video, we're going to explain my 4-step strategy that I use every single day when I show up to the chart. I'm going to take you through how you're going to mark up, how you're going to find buyers, how you're going to find entries, and take it from there. The best thing is every single one of these topics is going to have more in-depth videos to them, so you can benefit totally off that. At the end of this video, I want you guys to be able to understand what exactly you're looking for by following a 4-step process. So with that being said, let's get into this video and discuss that. So we're going to kick it off here. I want to keep this video really short, concise, so that people watch the end, because every single step matters so much. It's the only reason that I am able to produce the results I have here, and that is coming exactly from the strategy. A lot of you guys will start off at the charts here, and you need to do what? You need to put on, number one, your guidelines. You need to have a map. You need to have something you're going to follow. Now, I like to follow a very specific way of marking extremely accurate support and resistance, because I believe in the small matter. I believe in the small details, stuff that people are retail traders and overall are just going to overlook. They are looking at bigger picture, and smart monies are looking at sweep of liquidity and stuff. But I want to just focus on what people don't really notice, which is the intricate details of price closing above specific zones and closing below specific zones, which is going to allow me not to trade as basically how most people view the markets, as trends and stuff like that, but actually trade within ranges. And the way I do that is I do a top-down analysis. The reason so many traders fail is that they focus too much on the lower time frame. Lower time frame is a mess. Higher time frame is where the money is made, but entries can be made on the lower time frame. So everything comes from higher time frame. So I start off on a monthly time frame once a month. I mark up my support and resistance, and the way I do this is that I go down each time frame from monthly down to weekly and mark the most recent support and resistance here. So this would be my previous support level, and I mark it using candle bodies, no boxes, completely accurate on the actual body. Because look, if this weekly candle here did not close below, there would be no continuation down this week. Just because this weekly candle closed below the previous body, that was the confirmation to lead this week into bearish price action, because that is how price action works. If you guys have watched my other videos, you will notice that. I encourage you to watch my entry videos. That entry video will explain exactly that, of how this happens, of where it closes below. And this exact pattern we replicate on a 15-minute time frame to grab entries. So go down, mark your support and resistance from the top down weekly. Next, to go down to daily, mark all of your dailies, daily support down here, label them daily support. Go ahead and mark every single thing so we can find and have accurate levels, because when you're trading on the 15, it's going to be pretty stupid to sell below the daily support. You can see this daily candle closed below the weekly, gave pullback, continuation, close below, pullback, continuation. You see a little pattern forming here. So I do the same on the 4-hour. You can see this 4-hour support is being respected like a king here. That is why we're not having any continuation, and I go down to 1 hour, 15, and even 30-minute. Now, I do have an in-depth video of how to exactly mark very accurately top down. I will link the video in the description of this video. So once you finish watching the 4 steps and get an overall picture, you can spend time and go into detail. At the end of this video, I will also have a gift to make things a lot easier here. So make sure you stick to the end of the video. So this is step number 1, gonna be to mark up accurately. We want to have accurate levels. This small detail of this candle closing below this zone is gonna be very important when we're trading. So this is how I get my overall guidelines, and I can find what ranges we have for today. I can find what zones we want to trade in, and that is exactly what is very, very important. So let's move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is going to be bias. I know you guys have probably heard about it if you're a regular viewer of my channel, but bias is extremely important here. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, I appreciate you guys showing up. Continue. There will be some more gems in this. I know you've heard about this, but it's very good to reinstill it into your brain. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the channel. If you do enjoy this content and want to basically have an amazing resource here, feel free to subscribe, leave a like on this video. So moving on to that, we can see here that bias is going to be extremely important. Bias is going to tell you, what are you going to do in your session? Are you going to be looking for buys, or are you going to be looking for sells in your trading session? What are you going to do? And the way I calculate bias is using time and price. So what I do is I always use the previous daily close. Is going to be my bread and butter, because that's what happened the day before. I want to know how that daily candle closed. If that previous daily candle closed bullish, I'm also going to be on the side probably of buying. Now we need to tell the story from higher time frame down, because if we get a small, and this is the details where my regular viewers probably need to listen up here. If we have a small daily candle bearish close like this is not going to tell me to sell. This is not going to tell me to sell. If we have a small daily candle bullish like this, it's not going to tell me to buy. It can hint, but it's not confidence inducing. We want actual supports to be formed when we're looking for that type of perspective to build bias. The next time frame is, like I said, time and price. We want to move to the 4 hour. The 4 hour is going to be the last 4 hour closing before your session. So that's going to be the last 4 hour of Asian session before London. That's the candle I'm looking at. That's going to dictate my session bias. Adding these two candles together, I have a free indicator called Tradesharpe session bias, comes on the top right. It is telling me session bias today is bullish because this candle hasn't opened. So this will help you tell you what we're looking for. This is calculated off previous daily. I highly recommend you watch my session bias video and my mixed session bias video. I'm not going to make this video 35 minutes long. That's what it's going to take me to put that in that video to explain bias. It's not a very simple topic, but once you understand it, it is easy to apply. But I need you guys to go watch those videos. That's going to be in part 2. In the description, you can watch the bias videos and learn about bias and understand how to apply bias in the markets. All you have to do is go to the description, right click, open new tab, finish this video, watch that. Right now, that will allow us, without wasting time, to go on to step number 3 of my 4-step method. You have markup, you have bias. Now what do we need? Trading zones. This is where I'm going to be looking for my trades. So once you know where bias is, say today bias is bearish, I'm only looking for sells. I will go down to my trading timeframes and I'll look for selling zones. The way I'm going to look for selling zone is I do not want to trade in choppy areas. I do not want to trade in choppy areas. I want to trade in clean candle areas. As you can see, whenever we've had clean moves in the past, there are clean moves in the future. What do I mean by clean is no support, no resistance. This is what I call LTA, low traffic or lobster trading areas, right? Which means that there's just nothing. It's clean candles, high volume area. Because if we're looking at what institutions did in that area, they pushed price fast. There was no resistance. Price was able to move smoothly through that zone. And I want to be trading in those zones, not getting caught up in all the choppiness where all of traders are going to be manipulated inside of these choppy ranges. I want to be part of the percentage that catch that move when we have the high volume moves and the smooth moves in and out of the market and no room for error. And that's only going to happen in clean candle areas. You can see if you go mark up these clean candle areas, something like this, when we did dip into that area, it was a clean move till we reached the next support, then got choppy again. Then we dip below into this next zone, clean move until we reach the next support. Then what happened? Then got choppy. So those are the zones. They are clean candles between supports and resistances. The clean zone between support and resistance, as always, down below is a full video on that. And that is the next step I do when I get to the market, right? And that's going to allow us to go to the last step here of this amazing 4-step video. So the last and final step here is going to put all that together and find the entries. I'm going to discuss 3 entry models I have. Once you have these zones, we have our simple range continuation entry. Now notice these are all price action entries. So we have a range continuation entry. We have a pullback entry. We have a full continuation entries. This is going to be your setup number 1, pullback entry setup number 2, and continuation entry setup number 3. So continuation entry is going to be when price is moving fast. You need to try get in, find a way to get in with proper confirmation. Setup number 2 is going to allow yourself to buy on pullbacks, which is always nice to trade to a target. And number 1 is when we're coming normally from Asian range, we want to be able to trade outside of Asian range. So these 3 setups are discussed in depth in my video down below, which you can see on the step number 4, which is going to be my setups. So check out those videos. That is going to help you a hell of a lot here, and it's really going to, excel your trading. So these are my 4-step methods, and this is the same method I show up to the charts and do every day. I'm giving this out for free. It's pretty shocking how long this took me to discover, but the gift for you guys here is I've made a playlist with all of those videos in there. You don't even need to go and click each video in the description. You can just watch the playlist there of each of those steps and enjoy it for yourself. Enjoy the content. And if you do, as I said, leave a like, leave a comment. If you did make it to the end of the video, you can leave a comment of lobster trading areas. If you know why we call it lobster. And yeah, my Instagram link in the description if you want to follow me there. Keep up to date with day-to-day stuff. And with that being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully catch you guys very, very soon. Peace.